All right. Welcome to the Nobel show. We have to do some housekeeping here, you guys. Thank you to all of you that kept in touch with us here. We're just going through the motions of some things that we're discovering. Now, attention, Office of Interpol, the Army, the Navy, the military, the Marines, Donald Trump, the International Criminal World Court, and all that is good globally. I come to you in one's proper person, here and for the record, as a living flesh and blood sentient being, Surrey Juris Surrey Heiress, heir to the world's vast estate, as Reubenite tribe chief, American Indian, allodial title Moorish American national, protected by Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3, and AA 222141, as Indians non-taxed and as Moors tax immune, also by the Georgia Code, page 832 and 834, as Indians and Moors free from criminal prosecution, and also the American with Disabilities Association, and 18 USC 1341, 18 USC 1343, as all agents have committed telecommunications fraud and swindles and mail fraud and swindles. As you know, we've served the agents doing business as Jamaica Constabulary Force Deputy Fitz Bailey, and all the heads here, Ainsley Powell, and the agents that has interfered with our ancestral lands, as I was raised on that land. And we have had to, as it's a divine and national movement, we have had to now seek the help of the ancestors, both dead and alive. And so they are now over there trying to rectify the trespassers' right. So as you can see, all that we've served to the agents doing business as Peggy, Ricky, June, Paigey, Maxine Facey, Vincent Wright, Peggy Campbell, Audrey Campbell, Peggy Mullings, now stands as law, truth, fact when unrebutted. So we now command and order all the international authorities, Mr. Grady doing business as sheriff in Morocco, Maghreb, the North Gate, also known as Florida, and all the agents we have written to privately to go now and remove those trespassers and charge them up as per the true bill we've served them. And our trespass fee, which they have agreed to as their silence is agreement, is acquiescence to all, as the question still stands: validation of debt, verification of accounting, who is the original creditor on the account, what is their nationality, where is their nationality card, where is their foreign registration statement, what is their delegation of authority order, where is it, where is their tax exemption letter from the Secretary of State in Puerto Rico, what is their social security numbers, what is their address, and what is their proper persona, as per Hale versus Hinckley, and do not bear false witness as per Trinzi versus Pagliaro. As the question begs, where is the injured party, and jurisdiction, and Article 1, Section 10, no state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or what does that say? Consideration, grant letters of marque, and reprisal, own money and emit bills of credit, make anything but gold or silver, coin a tender in payment of debts, pass any bill of attainder ex post facto law impairing the obligation of contracts, or grant any title of nobility. No state shall, without the consent of Congress, lay any imposts or duties on imposts or exports except what may be absolutely necessary for executing its inspection laws, and the net produce of all duties and imposts laid by any state, imports or exports, shall, for the use of the Treasury of the United States and all such laws, shall be subject to the revision and control of the Congress. No state shall, without the consent of Congress, lay any duty or tonnage, keep troops or ships of war in time of peace, enter into any agreement or compact with any state or with a foreign power engaged in war, unless actually invaded or in such imminent danger as will not admit or delay. As per the Clearfield Doctrine 1942 Supreme Court case, which clearly stated that in 1861 there was a coup d'etat. As such, we are being subject to 18 U.S. Code 242, deprivation of rights under color of law, as these agents seem to have possibly committed extortion and bribes, with these agents doing business as entities wearing costumes, carrying weapons on the roadway, pretending and claiming to be actors, claiming to be police, who are peace officers first, who may have taken a oath to uphold a constitution, the organic constitution, and then may have taken another oath to the Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act, working for the United Nations as foreign entities occupying our lands, doing admiral maritime law, which is laws of the sea on dry land, which we heirs do common law, common sense, God's law, all day, every day. So jurisdiction is afoot. And then now, as all these laws that we serve to these agents now stands, we have a right to be secure in our persons, houses, papers, and our possessions, and effects against unreasonable search and seizures, which shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue. There was no warrant issued upon probable cause, supported by, which needed to be supported by oath and affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be seized, searched, and the persons to be seized, which must also be signed by a lawful clerk and or a lawful judge with date, stamp, and seal, signed by a lawful judge and or a lawful clerk with date, stamp, and seal, signed by a lawful judge and a lawful clerk with date, stamp, and seal. And as we here are only the ones that are the only lawful judge and lawful clerks, their documents lack standing in law. Now, they had the time allotted to rebut all in writing, as stated above, and all now stands as law, truth, fact, unrebutted. So go now and see to it these entities named prior are all removed from the said property and domicile this night, in the name of Almighty God and all that is good, right? Now, it's just come to attention here. Thank you to all of you sharing with us what's going on internationally and globally and on this territory, right? Now, as you know, international authorities, we here as Reubenite Tribe Chief, American Indian, Colonial Title Moorish American National, have claimed all said lands known as Morocco, Maghreb, the North Gate Indian Country, also known as this territory, Jamaica Wardship Status, Jamaica Republic, Canada Republic, and all the said territories required to have all restored, all minerals and everything restored to the people, right? So as you know, one's father originated from the Maroon, a compound town, and as such, we had gone up there, written an affidavit to them, and after that put up everything in our quitclaim deed lawsuit. As you know, we have upgraded it, removed Donald Trump from it, and also make sure he's protected in every single way. Put a hedge of protection around all that is good globally. Anyways, see to it now that the people are restored in a compound town, Maroon, and speak to the agents doing business as police to refrain from any interference on their herbal growth, anything that they're growing over there, anything they're doing over there as jurisdiction. We as nationals have claimed this entire territory to avoid all trespassers, to stop all agents doing business as trespass, extortion, bribery, what have you, to remove these third-party interlopers from said interference on any crop growths over there. Now, speak to the agent doing business as chief over there in Maroon Town and let him know, send him this affidavit so they are over there as well protected and they know that they are covered under our trust, which the Moorish American consulate had redone the new trust, and we had sent that off. I think it was yesterday. Thank you for sending that to us again so that our people can be protected. Also, thank you for sharing this with us this night in Historic Decision Federal Court Orders FCC to explain why it ignored scientific evidence showing harm from wireless radiation. United States Courts of Appeal for the District of Columbia. The District of Columbia, as you know, is a 90-mile radius under Washington, D.C., under Admiral Maritime Law, right? Now, the circuit judges in favor of environmental health groups and petitioners finds FCC violated the Administrative Procedures Act and failed to respond to comments on environmental harm. Today, the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit ruled in the historic case EHT AL versus FCC that the December 2019 decision by the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, to retain its 1996 safety limits for human exposure to wireless radiation was arbitrary and capricious. The court held that the FCC failed to respond to record evidence that the exposure into RF radiation at levels below Commission's current limits may cause negative health effects unrelated to cancer. Further, the agency demonstrated a complete failure to respond to comments concerning environmental harm caused by the RF radiation. The court highlighted that the FCC failed to respond to approximately 200 comments on the record by people who experience illness or injury from electromagnetic radiation sickness. The court ordered the commission to provide a reasoned explanation for its decision to retain its testing procedures for determining whether cell phones and other portable electronic devices comply with its guidelines, address the impacts of RF radiation on children, the health implications of long-term exposure of RF radiation, the ubiquity of wireless devices, and other technology developments that have occurred since the Commission's last updated its guidelines, address the impacts of RF radiation on the environment. Now, international authorities, as you know, we are experiencing here some pain. It was shared with us that the public beaches are still closed. However, the beach at Bluefields Beach seems to be occupied by the agents running the high-end hotel over there. So only the tourists seem to have access to our set beaches. Now you need to go now this night, open up all the beaches on this territory, right, and globally, so the people have access. Even though a lot of us or some of us have access to private beaches, the public heirs still need to have access to their own lands, for their healing, as their healing comes naturally from the sun, the moon, the stars, the water, the airs, and the food that's grown in the earth, right? So though we're using leaf of life, and our avocado tree was just hurt, right? We still now require the full access to all the natural resources on this land for all the people, not just us here as nationals, but all the people that are on this territory and globally as heirs, indigenous, and all the good people have access to all. So do that on our behalf now, and also see to it now that the people are compensated, and send us here our bowen specialist to this territory so we can have access to the kind of other treatments that we're accustomed to having here, and do that on our behalf now. As you can see, we have also served the quitclaim deed lawsuit to Ainsley Powell, so that now stands on the record. See to it that he's implemented that and put that in the proper locations, so it's on record, right? As we've put our stamps and what have you on that document, so that the people will know who we are as a people, and all now serve stands as law, truth, fact when unrebutted. Hang on. There you can see our stamp with our thumbprint, with the instructions to have everything implemented. And this was the writ sent for high treason for the agent who committed said trespass on the lands, as it was. We were instructed by our ancestors to see to it that all was maintained and taken care of by us. And so we did our best. In addition to that, we're asking that the W-9, the 1040, the 1099 OID for all finances spent over there. Use the master account. You will see all the finances, who they went to directly, all the hardware stores that were able to benefit from those notes. Have those sent back to us immediately this night. Use the master account to track those notes, right? And then have that sent back to us as a said withholding, because it was not a gift. It was not a gift. It was not a gift. So have those sent back to us this night so we can continue our commerce here on the lands, right? And do what we need to do globally. In addition to the fact that our ancestors and elders in Canaanite land, Canada, are also being subject to jury duty as seniors in their 80s, 90s, whatever. How those entities stop, cease and desist all those correspondence to the seniors who are in their 80s, 90s, whatever, hundreds. It's ridiculous at this point. So have them now refrain from that. Have the mask mandates removed from Canaanite land, Canada, this territory, and globally, so that people can breathe. And we know that we nationals do not abide by said jurisdictions in any way, shape, or form. And though we're protected by our jurisdiction and who we are as a people, a lot of our, some of our elders and ancestors are now just hearing about our indigenous status, and they know they were subject to identity theft from birth, as per the creation of the birth certificate bonds that were traded on 55 Water Street, and that they were made orphans on the Delaware Registry. So you're going to go now and see to it as their heirs and mores and have a right to a nationality. ISPO jur, ISPO jur, ISPO jur. IPSO jur, it's their blood birthright. It's our blood birthright. It is our blood birthright. So see to it now that they are restored and protected in every way, shape, and form, right? And then now, let's see if we can bring it up. 2019, March 21st, 2019, March 21st, 2019. We were taught and brought up to be doing these, what do you call them, for the new year when you make those announcements of what you're going to lose weight, you're going to do whatever. And you also notice a lot of us get depressed around that New Year time frame and around Christmas time frame. It's because apparently Mother Nature, the winter solstice is upon us, and everything is resting at that point in time. So it's not a good time to make those resolutions, right? So March 21st is supposed to be when the time that we Moors are supposed to be, or everybody, I think, on the planet, not just us Moors, is supposed to be making their resolutions for that time. In fact, coming up January 5th, they're saying that it's a good time for us to start making those resolutions as well. In addition to the fact we need to know our natal charts. I don't know ours here. I do know I go by our energies here, and that kind of. So here's the Moorish International Republic federal government new trust that was created for all of us. This is what we use in conjunction with our trust, okay? And so MACNR and then a host of nines after that. Looks like 9 nines. They've now claimed, they've reconveyed the lands globally and put all of our stuff in this trust. So basically what we're doing is we're dissolving or have dissolved that other fraudulent trust that they didn't have permission to do in the first place because they're not us. They pretended to. Okay, so similar to like the Pazer Trust that has now been dissolved and those agents have been rounded up. There were a whole host of other trusts, the Lucifer Trust, what have you, that was set up for these corrupt entities to use, right? So they were going under that. So now, by this point in time, they should be all rounded up and dissolved, right? In addition to that, all now stands a rescission of signature on the Social Security numbers, the Social Insurance numbers, the Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 1. That still stands, right? And some people are senior citizens and others who depend on those notes monthly. Now, RV Bay Publications. Now, the other thing you're going to do on our behalf is it's now come to our attention that there's some other third-party interlopers that we were loving up on, not realizing these said agents may also be Jesuits, agents working against us to steal the said lands. So you're going to go now and investigate those entities that pose themselves as third-party interlopers, trying to interfere with the elders and the ancestors in said matter at hand. Go and remedy that situation on our behalf, as reported to you privately a couple days ago. So go and see to it now. Speak to those agents and find out who they are, what their affiliations are, and what is their position on the said elders and the ancestors going and restoring and getting back to their original lands. All right? So do that on our behalf now. Thank you in advance for your speedy response to this matter. By Noble Honorable Ange L. Enid Alphabet L. Reubenite Tribe Chief, American Indian, Allodial Title Moorish American National, UCC 1-308 without recourse, all rights reserved. I stand by the Book of Ruth by my deceased organ harvested husband of myself, Jackson. Nono kotokono kaine takono chiki ka kaine takono koko. Nina na katakono koko ina hatakana na tekene na takono ko ina hataka. Na koko ka kaine hitakono toko ina hataka. Nina na kako ina hitakana na teki. All right, so thank you to each and every one of you who has written to us to share your research and stuff with us here. We are putting out stuff as fast as we possibly can as it comes in. So our people who are on, you guys can join us on our email group where we share information that we receive. Thank you to all the people who've shared with us the Moorish. There's a document that Moors can use as we have a religious affiliation to not be subjected to any jabs. So thank you to the people that sent us that form that was shared with our people on our email group. Those of you who are interested in receiving that form as Moors, you can email us at themullings@gmail.com. And then we had another one that was sent to us previous. We made a video about that. for other entities who are also seeking some asylum from some of the things that are going on. Now, you can also visit us on the new website. I will put the link to that in the description below, right? You can join us on our online tutor school classes. You can also watch us on the 2 YouTube channels. We're also asking international authorities that all the YouTubers be put back as we indigenous here who are made disabled use those other informational sites to guide us along the roadway, right? As they've also shared with us their research in that. So have all those restored this night, along with all of our stuff that was removed as well, right? Thank you to those of you who reported that there was some cleanup done recently on this particular medium, so we're really grateful to hear that. And we'll now just continue to watch to see as things get restored back properly. Now, you guys can also email us for a private email consultation where sometimes we will be able to guide you as to what you may have to put in place. And yes, we did have to correct our status over time, we didn't have to correct our status initially to do the 1099 OID, nor to do the GSA bonds. We later learned in our research. However, along the road as we were traveling, we did have to correct our status. So we were really grateful for the things that we received, such as the Federal Trade Commission clearinghouse number, 4495934 international authorities. You can use that now to remedy any outstanding finances that's required in any of this instant matter. In addition to the fact we were able to receive the United States Patent and Trademark Office registration number, as one here is listed as an asexual seed plant, rubus red rose, angel in Latin, and a number of other things that we received in this territory. We received a clearance from the National Housing Trust. We received the Ministry of Labor clearance. We also received a letter of, I want to say it's a comptroller for any said taxes, and a whole host of other copyrights and things that we had put in place from the Library of Congress. I think it was $1 billion. We also leaned up the straw man name for $1 billion. So we're saying to these entities, just to pay the first lien holder, which is us, for the said $1 billion. And then we also were given a $9 billion copyright fee and a $500,000 copyright fee for each and every one of our immediate tribes and elders, and also for offspring as well. The $9 billion covers them and any lands or anything that we're dealing with to remedy that. So status correction is important for us when we were traveling, and so you have to do the research in your area and see what's required, right? So if you're in need of set off for things like child support cases, mortgages, foreclosures, tickets, citations, utilities, auto loans, student loans, warrants, and for those of you having to see an agent doing business as parole officer, as well as those of you in the churches doing business as jails, for nonviolent offenses, you can email us at themullings@gmail.com, and also for the 1099 OID and the GSA bonds with the abatement affidavit, you can do that as well to set off matters for nonviolent offenses. So we do ask for your donations. You can send that to PayPal at themullings@gmail.com. All right, you guys. So we always say here, faith without works is dead. And yeah, we had to do a lot of stuff in the past couple of days. It's been affecting my physical body, as you know, as you can see. And so, yeah, we're just asking for some relief in that instant matter. And as the dead and the living rise up to remedy it as it's a divine and national movement. We're not physically at that location, so we do things from a distance and get our workers to assist us. And so speak to the agent doing business as Madge Brown, who, as you know, our ancestors had given a small area to one of her offspring to use, and then it's now encroaching on the ancestor's own property. So the entity that's left is one named Madge Brown, who, as you can see, when they cut the grass over there, unlike when we cut the grass over there, we cut the entire property. They cut a small section, which allows mosquitoes and different things to harbor in the other section. So tell them if they're going to cut the grass over there, cut the entire thing, or else don't touch it at all, because it just creates confusion, right? So, yeah, and we'd like the front board, I think they were being used as a hairdressing shop, for that to be removed because it's blocking the ancestors and elders' ability to see the road too. And so for that to be removed off the domicile, off the lands, and then eventually now, yeah, so just remedy that on our behalf. And once we get guidance as to the rest of the lands, we will give you instructions as we receive it, right? Because we're here as heavenly messengers, as angels, to restore all the other angels that are on the planet, and all the psychics and all the people that are sent here at this time. Kudos to you and all the work that you've been doing as well too. We can see you, we see you, we hear you. And so, yeah. So thank you in advance for your speedy response to that matter. By Noble Honorable Ange Elena D. Alpha L, Reubenite Tribe Chief American Indian, Alodi Title Moorish American National UCC 1-308 without recourse, all rights reserved. I stand by the Book of Ruth, by my deceased Oregon harvested husband and myself, Jackson. Tokulot kakain tukuno koko nina nakatakuno o ikaina hata kana o ikana na hata ka nina nakaita kana na koko ina hita kana na tiki. All right, you guys, like, share, subscribe. Faith that works is dead. I want to put edge protection on all that is good globally. Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, the Army, the Navy, the military, the Marines, and all the good people on the planet globally who's helping us to get free. All the workers here, all the spiritual people here who have risen us to help us spiritually as a divine and national movement. So we await now, this night, for all those entities to be rounded up, right? Charge them for interference as third-party interlopers. Speak to those said neighbors, Maxine Facey, Vincent Wright, and have them step off and hold their quarters, right? Hold their corners. Like, share, subscribe, you guys. Have yourself a great day.